All right, so today we're going to really unpack the world of Samay Raina.
Okay.
You probably know him as a comedian and YouTuber.
Yeah.
Maybe even caught his chess streams during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. We've got a stack of articles,
Right.
a case study, even a Wikipedia entry that's surprisingly not about him,
Interesting.
to help us understand his journey and the recent controversies
Yeah.
surrounding his show, India's Got Leighton.
India's Got Leighton. Yeah.
So,
What's really interesting here is we're not just looking at a comedian's career,
right.
but how this controversy could actually impact the future of digital content in India.
Yeah, so let's rewind with me for a second.
Okay.
Samay Raina starts out in a Kashmiri Pandit family,
Yeah.
studies engineering,
Yeah.
drops it all to pursue comedy.
Wow.
What's striking about those early choices from your perspective?
Well, he really went against the grain, didn't he? I mean, what's fascinating is how he's managed to succeed in both stand-up comedy and online content creation.
Yeah.
With each one boosting the other.
Yeah.
You know, his co-win on Comic Stanson Season 2 back in 2019 was a major turning point, but then he pivoted in a way that I think few saw coming.
Yeah, you're talking about the chess streams, right?
I
In
am.
the middle of the pandemic,
Right.
he starts playing online,
Yeah.
even collaborating with grandmasters like Viswanathan and And.
Unbelievable.
That's not your typical comedian's move.
Exactly. And that's where I think his business sense comes in.
Okay.
You know, by engaging the chess community, he attracted a whole new audience.
Right.
People interested in both chess and comedy.
Interesting.
So it's a brilliant example of how to broaden your platform.
Broaden it. He did.
He did.
One article mentioned his net worth is estimated to be around 195 crore.
Wow.
That's a pretty impressive figure.
It is.
Can you walk us through where all that money comes from?
Of course. So his income streams are quite diverse. There's the obvious YouTube ad revenue,
Right.
but he's also landed major brand deals with companies like CRA and Mintra.
Oh, wow.
And then don't forget the income from his live comedy shows.
Yes, for.
And then there's the exclusive content he creates for his members.
Wait, exclusive content. What do you mean, like a Patreon type of setup?
Exactly. He offers additional content and perks to those who subscribe to his membership program.
Okay.
So it's a way to reward loyal fans
Right.
and create a more sustainable revenue stream
Yeah.
beyond relying solely on ad revenue and brand deals.
I see.
It's clear that Samay Raina has built a multifaceted business,
Yeah.
not just a career in entertainment.
Which makes this recent controversy surrounding his show, India's Got Leighton, all the more impactful.
Yeah,
Can you set the scene for us? What's the show's format,
sure.
and what exactly happened that caused such a stir?
So India's Got Leighton is essentially a live-streamed comedy show
Okay.
where comedians, often, including Raina himself,
Right.
riff on contestants' talents. Think of it like Kill Tony,
I see.
but with an Indian twist.
Yeah.
The incident that sparked the outrage involved popular YouTuber Ranveer Alabadia, better known as Beer Biceps.
Right.
He was a guest on the show
Okay.
and made a comment about a contestant's parents that many found incredibly offensive.
Yeah, I remember seeing the headlines about this.
Yeah,
It seemed like the backlash was immediate and intense.
absolutely. It went viral for all the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
leading to multiple FIRs being filed in Maharashtra, even involving the Maharashtra cyber cell.
Wow.
Raina, who was abroad at the time,
Right.
had to fly back to India to personally give a statement.
Oh, wow.
The gravity of the situation really can't be overstated.
So what are the specific legal charges Raina is facing?
Okay.
And what are the potential consequences?
Right.
Could this really shake up content regulation in India?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The charges fall under sections 294 and 509 of the Indian Penal Code,
Okay.
relating to obscenity and insulting modesty.
But what's interesting is that the potential outcomes range widely.
So you mean it could be anything from a slap on the wrist to a major legal overhaul?
Precisely, the case could be dismissed altogether.
Okay.
He could face fines,
Right.
or, and this is where things get fascinating,
Okay.
this whole incident could trigger a complete overhaul of content regulation in India.
Wow.
Imagine the ripple effects across the digital landscape.
Okay, let's unpack this further. What does this actually mean for someone like our listener
Right.
who enjoys this type of content and follows these online creators?
Yeah.
What are the stakes here?
Well, this isn't just about one comedian and one show.
Right.
It goes way beyond that.
Okay.
What we're talking about here are the limits of humor.
Okay.
the challenges of self-regulation in a digital world, and how society as a whole deals with content that crosses the line.
And this case, with its high profile
Yeah.
and potential legal consequences, really brings those issues to the forefront.
It forces everyone to reconsider what's acceptable.
Right.
And who gets to decide that?
Yeah,
Especially in a landscape that's constantly changing and pushing boundaries.
it really does. Makes you wonder, are there any parallels we can draw to other controversies, either in India or globally?
Yeah.
Does this feel like a one-off or part of a bigger pattern?
It definitely echoes some past incidents.
Okay.
Here in India, we have the case of Tanmay Pat
Right.
and the backlash against some of his sketches, which were criticized for their use of humor, many found insensitive.
Right.
Internationally, there are similarities to the controversies surrounding Dave Chappelle's Netflix specials,
Okay.
which also faced criticism for their content.
So it's a recurring theme.
Yeah.
Comedians pushing boundaries, audiences pushing back,
Right.
and this constant search for that elusive balance between creative freedom and responsibility.
Exactly. And that struggle, I think, becomes even more complex in the digital age,
Yeah.
where content spreads so quickly and outrage can be amplified in an instant.
So the Samay Raina controversy is really a symptom of a larger global conversation about these very issues.
Speaking of global weight, this reminds me of something we found while prepping for this deep dive.
Okay.
A Wikipedia entry about a Raina assembly constituency in West Bengal.
Right.
For a second, we thought it was somehow tied to Samay.
I know, a political family dynasty.
Yeah.
Turns out it's completely unrelated.
Yeah.
It's just a testament to how these deep dives can lead to some unexpected discoveries.
And it highlights the importance of careful research.
Yeah,
Just because things share a name doesn't mean they're connected.
absolutely.
Good reminder for our listener, too, about verifying information and thinking critically.
Absolutely. But coming back to Samay Raina,
Okay.
let's talk about the potential fallout from this controversy on his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he's built a huge following and a successful brand,
Right.
but could this derail everything he's worked for?
Especially considering how reliant he is on brand partnerships, like the ones with CRE and Mintra that were mentioned in one of the articles.
Right, and we saw how those brands reacted. They
Yeah.
paused their collaborations with him almost immediately
Wow.
after the controversy broke.
Right.
So that's a significant financial hit,
Yeah.
but also a blow to his image.
It really shows how vulnerable creators can be, even those who seem to have it all figured out.
Yeah, they walk a tightrope,
Yeah.
balancing their creative vision with the expectations of their audience and the demands of the market.
Yeah.
One misstep can have serious repercussions, and rebuilding trust can be a long and difficult process.
So is there a way back from this?
Mm,
What steps could Raina take to mitigate the damage
okay.
and potentially redeem himself in the eyes of his audience and sponsors?
Redemption is a tricky concept in today's digital landscape,
Yeah.
but it's not impossible.
Okay.
The first step, I think, is acknowledging the severity of the situation and taking full responsibility.
He did remove the controversial episodes from his YouTube channel
Right.
and issued a statement.
Yeah, but is that enough?
Yeah. Is that enough?
It's a start, but actions speak louder than words,
Right.
He needs to show a genuine commitment to learning from this experience
Okay.
and demonstrate that he's taking steps to prevent it from happening again.
What kind of steps are we talking about?
Well, think stricter content moderation policies,
Right.
being more mindful of the language used on his shows,
Mhm.
having open dialogues with his audience about his values and intentions.
So
He needs to show that he's listening and making real changes.
more than just apologies, he needs to demonstrate concrete action.
Exactly. And going beyond policy changes, he might consider using his platform
Yeah.
to champion causes he believes in.
Right.
Or collaborate with organizations doing good work in areas related to the controversy.
Okay.
So it's about demonstrating personal growth and using his influence for positive change.
Ultimately, though, whether he can fully recover remains to be seen.
It'll depend on many things.
Yeah.
The legal outcome, how his fans and sponsors react, his own efforts to make amends.
Right.
It's a long road ahead,
Yeah.
and there's no guarantee of success.
But regardless of what happens to Samay Raina,
Yeah,
this situation has opened up a much broader conversation
absolutely.
about the responsibilities of creators in the digital age.
It's a reminder that humor can be powerful,
Yeah.
but it needs to be wielded responsibly.
Right.
We're all navigating this evolving landscape, trying to find the balance between creative expression and ethical considerations.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the financial side of things.
Okay.
We mentioned Raina's estimated net worth.
Yeah.
But let's dig a little deeper.
Sure.
Can you break down the key sources of his income?
Absolutely. It's a great example of how online creators can diversify their income streams to build a sustainable business.
Right.
As we discussed earlier, his income comes from a variety of sources.
YouTube ad revenue being the most obvious one, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. With millions of subscribers on his main channel, those views translate into substantial income.
Right.
And he's been strategic in the type of content he creates,
Okay.
mixing comedy, chess, and collaborations to build a large and diverse fan base.
So it's not just about the views, but the audience those views represent.
Precisely, that's what attracts the advertisers.
Right. And beyond YouTube, he's secured brand deals
Right.
with companies like CRV and Mintra, leveraging his online popularity to endorse their products or services. Though, as we've seen, those partnerships can be precarious,
Yeah.
especially when controversy arises.
Which highlights the importance, I think, of creators carefully choosing partners who align with their values and being mindful of how their actions might affect those relationships.
It's a business decision that requires careful consideration and a long-term perspective.
Absolutely. Then we have his live events.
Right.
Raina is a popular stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
and those shows generate revenue from ticket sales.
Of course.
He's also hosted other events like chess tournaments,
Right.
further diversifying his income and reaching new audiences.
It's smart to not put all your eggs in one basket,
Yeah.
especially in the unpredictable world of online entertainment.
Couldn't agree more. And finally, we have his membership program.
Right.
Raina offers exclusive content to paying members, such as behind-the-scenes videos, early access to new content, or even private online communities where fans can connect with him directly.
That's a model we're seeing more and more.
It is.
It's a way for creators to build deeper relationships with their most dedicated fans
Yeah.
and create a more stable income stream.
And by combining all of these sources,
Right.
YouTube brand deals, live events, and memberships,
Yeah.
Raina has managed to create a very successful and profitable business.
It's impressive to see how he's leveraged his talents and built a brand that goes beyond just entertainment.
It is.
It's a model many aspiring creators could learn from.
Absolutely. It highlights the importance of diversification, building a loyal fan base, and constantly adapting to the changing landscape of digital media.
It's a reminder that success in this field requires more than just talent.
Right.
It takes hard work, business savvy, and a willingness to evolve.
Well said. Now, before we shift gears completely,
Okay.
there's one more financial aspect we haven't touched upon.
Okay.
The potential financial repercussions of the controversy.
Right beyond the immediate loss of brand deals.
Yeah.
Could this situation have a more lasting impact on his earnings?
It's certainly possible.
Okay.
Brand partnerships are often based on trust and reputation,
Right.
and this incident has undoubtedly damaged both.
Yeah.
Even if he manages to rebuild his image, it might take time for brands to be willing to associate with him again.
It's like a stain that's difficult to remove,
Yeah.
even if the actions that caused it were unintentional.
And it's not just brand deals.
Right.
This controversy could impact his ticket sales for live shows.
Yeah.
Or make it more difficult for him to secure new opportunities. So the financial fallout could be significant and long-lasting.
It's a sobering reminder of the potential consequences of even a single misstep
Yeah.
in the digital age.
The stakes are high,
Yeah.
and the margin for error is slim.
Right.
And it highlights the importance, I think, for creators of not only focusing on building a successful business, but also on cultivating a strong ethical foundation.
Right.
And being mindful of the potential impact of their actions.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the money. It's
Yeah.
about building a career and a legacy that you can be proud of. It really makes you think about the bigger picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does this whole situation mean for the future of digital content in India?
It's definitely a turning point, I think.
Okay.
You know, the India's Got Latent controversy has really thrown a spotlight on the evolving legal landscape surrounding online content, particularly the government's role in regulating it.
We've seen the Indian government taking a more active approach in recent years, haven't we?
Absolutely. The 2023 IT rules amendments, for example, gave them more power to demand content removal.
Right.
And this case, with its multiple FIRs
Yeah.
and the involvement of the Maharashtra Cyber Cell,
Right.
further signals a move, I think, towards stricter enforcement.
So where do we draw the line?
Mm.
How do we balance free speech and creative expression
Right.
with the need to prevent harmful content online?
It's a complex question, being debated globally.
Right.
On one hand, the government has a responsibility to protect citizens from hate speech, misinformation, and other harmful content. But on the other hand, there's the risk of these regulations being misused to stifle dissent or limit creative freedom.
The Samay Raina controversy really brings those tensions to the forefront.
It forces us to ask some tough questions.
Right.
Where's the boundary between offensive humor and protected speech? Who decides what's acceptable?
Right.
How do we ensure these regulations are applied fairly and transparently without stifling creativity or infringing on individual rights?
There are no easy answers, especially in a digital landscape that's constantly changing and pushing boundaries.
Exactly. This conversation is just beginning.
Yeah.
And it's one that I think needs to involve diverse perspectives.
Okay.
Creators, platform providers, policymakers, and the public.
It's about finding a way forward that protects free speech while also ensuring a safer and more responsible online environment.
And that's what makes this deep dive so compelling, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about one comedian's misstep, but about the broader implications for all of us who create and consume content online.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From Raina's unconventional career paths and diverse income streams to the controversy that's shaken his world and sparked a wider debate about content regulation in India.
It's a reminder that the digital world, while full of opportunities, is also fraught with challenges and ethical dilemmas.
And as we wrap up, we want to leave you with a question to ponder.
Okay.
What do you think is the right balance between creative freedom and responsible content creation? Does this case change how you view online content and the people who create it?
We encourage you to continue exploring these questions, to engage in thoughtful discussions, and to stay informed about the evolving digital landscape.
Because ultimately, the future of the internet is shaped by all of us.
It is.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We hope it's given you a new perspective on the complexities of the digital age.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.